Here's a question. Do you think you could go 7 full days without talking? That was the question I set out to answer, and boy howdy did I answer it. Day number 1 was pretty rough. There were a number of things that I didn't consider. I can't speak to my cats. My family and friends will think this is very stupid. I also didn't realize up to this point that I breathe out of my mouth. I realized that by keeping my mouth closed, thinking that would keep the words in. But day 2 was significantly harder. I went to an air show that I had previously bought tickets for. Not only did I have to deal with event officials and seeing some of my friends for the first time since starting this challenge, but I also had to deal with law enforcement 3 separate times. And if you're wondering how I wiggled my way out of that, you're gonna have to go watch the full video on my channel. And to top it all off, I got to watch the Air Force's F-35 demo team, and it was arguably one of the greatest experiences of my life, but you wouldn't freaking know that because I literally couldn't talk. Day 3 was Monday, start of the week. I honestly thought this day was gonna go pretty smooth until... If you've never silently walked into a bank and then just held a note up to the teller, I don't recommend doing that. But apart from that and bumping into a couple more friends, it was a pretty quiet day. See what I did there? Ding. I'll be here all week. Tuesday, day 4. This was easily the hardest day of the challenge. I got into a pretty heated texting disagreement with my wife, which makes the first time it's occurred to me that it's really hard to express your emotions when you can't talk. Also, the weather was kind of bumming me out. Also, if you haven't thought of this yet, ordering food when you can't speak is really difficult. Wednesday, day 5 was very quiet. That joke's getting old. Shot some footage for a project I'm working on with Onewheel, did some editing, and pretty quietly enjoyed my evening. Thursday, day 6 was pretty much the same, with the exception of my wife telling me she booked a haircut for the next day and didn't bother to tell anyone that I can't talk. Friday, day 7, we are nearly done with this challenge. Thank you, dear sweet baby Jesus. Rode very quietly in the car to go get my haircut. Very quietly let this lady cut my hair. If you didn't know, getting your haircut is one of the most talkative places in the universe. It was a very one-sided conversation for this poor lady. Then we ate lunch, went to another coffee shop where I made another friend. My wife thought it would be funny to send an unhoused gentleman over to me to ask for money, even though I can't talk. And then we drove home quietly, which gave me a full hour and a half to reflect on just how stupid these last 7 days have been. So to answer the question, is it actually that hard to go 7 days without speaking?